Dear Biotecnika members, how are you? Today we just thought to tell you about certain things which we feel you must know as a biotechnologist working in India. Why Biotecnika exists? Well, today we will question our existence. You know why? Because unless we know our purpose, we don't get to know our direction. So let us try to know why we exist and how we survived. No solution can exist unless there underlies a problem. So what problem we identified and are trying to address? If you look at the current scenario in our country, we are importing everything. Well, Mahatma Gandhi gave us a slogan that we should encourage and use Swadeshi. We are so much westernized in our outlook today that we don't mind if the product is from a global MNC or a local company. This is fine as long as it is for sectors such as food, clothing technology, etc. But two sectors must never be dependent on foreign tech, and that is defense and medicines. Even food and clothing should not. But you see, we all are depending heavily on foreign-made medicines, and that means any day companies can hold us to ransom. A complete course of antibiotic today costs 170 rupees, that is 17 rupees per tablet. We are sure it's affordable for you, but not for many of the underprivileged poor whose daily income is less than 150 rupees. What if tomorrow there is an outbreak and we do not have ample researchers and you and I have to pay 4 times the cost just because a foreign pharma company decides to reap profits out of our weakness? So, what shall we do? Sit like puppets in hands of the foreign MNCs? Or shall we encourage our young generation to pursue research? Indigenous research is the answer to everything. We are not against foreign MNCs, but why should it be a one-way transaction? Why should we depend on them and why should they not depend on us? Serum Institute of India came out with a $1 vaccine. The world watched in despair. We Indians should not fall prey to costly tech. Instead, we need to develop our own tech, whether it's food, pharma, defense or any other sector. And you can empower our country. How? Let me explain. Each time you meet a researcher or a would-be biotechnologist, inspire and encourage them. Tell young postgrads to pursue research, you empower India. Each time someone goes into CSIR lab, with the help of Biotecnika, we empower India and the Indian research community. You have the power to change the future of India, one student at a time. We have also created a video which will explain why we support CSIR Labs so much. Have a look at that too. We would love to know your views. Feel free to respond back to this video if we were able to provoke your thoughts in this matter. So, can we count you as a soldier in our 11-year-old crusade to encourage indigenous research?
How to get a job in biotech industry faster as a fresher. Dear members of Biotecnika, we feel real pride informing you that after years of research and experience in the job placement industry of placing job seekers into various biotechnology and pharmaceutical companies, we have realized that all job seekers face similar problems which are not at all related to their qualification or experience. It is related to something else. No, it's not using references also. The question of having references comes only when you have got an interview call or an email. In our survey, we found out that 80% of the candidates do not get a call for an interview because They all have similar qualification and experiences, and the HRs get confused who among them is the best suitable candidate. It's something similar to when you go to a shopping mall and all the shops look equally attractive. To solve this problem, most companies use an ATS, which is also called Applicant Tracking System. ATS is a software which shortlists candidates on the basis of keywords. So, your CV must be optimized for the ATS first, and then it must impress the HR. Then only you will get the interview call. So, what shall you do to attract the HR's eyeballs and get a fresher job in biotech industry faster? Get your CV designed as per the ATS and also get your video resume designed. Got questions? Chat with us here and our experts will guide you in your quest for grabbing the best job.
Hello and very good morning to all my attendees of LEAF 2019. Kindly confirm if you are able to see me and hear me. Yes, we are live now, Ratnadeep. Can you hear me? Kindly confirm in chat. Okay, fantastic. So welcome to LEAF 2019. I'm your host for the day. My name is Shekhar Suman. I'm the CEO and Managing Director at Biotecnika. And I heartily welcome all of you to the second virtual conference of Biotecnika, which is of course free of cost to all our subscribers. And we call it as Life Science Educational Ambition Fair. Now, we say it as a virtual fair, so before we actually get started, let me give you a brief glimpse about what exactly is a virtual fair, right? So, a virtual fair, as the name suggests, it's going to be online. It's virtual, and you can attend it from anywhere, right? Okay, you can hear me, perfect. So this conference, this education fair is where 15 different experts from top-notch educational institutions, experienced people are going to come across, and you will be able to talk to them live, interact with them, and also understand what are the future aspects and careers over a period of 16 hours starting from now. So what does this mean? A lot to learn, right? Now, why exactly Biotecnika decided to conduct virtual conferences or virtual fairs? Because if you have to do an offline conference, then you have to go to a place. Now you have to travel to a place, you waste time in that. Here you are right now watching us live on YouTube as well as through our portal. Okay, on the LEAF website, you can directly watch us. And you will be able to understand, interact, and learn a lot of things in this education fair. Now, we are really thankful to all of you for joining in this morning with us, and we promise you that this education fair is going to be really useful for your career, for your future aspect. And okay, Mangesh says that the voice is not clear. Is the voice clear, guys? Is my voice pretty clear? Can you please confirm? Okay, perfect. So looks like there was a problem with only one person. No worries. So let's talk about education, right? Now, we all, whenever we study in a professional course or in life sciences, the moment you are enrolled, in fact, the day I was enrolled, we all had one single question: what's the outcome, right? We always want the outcome, where we'll get a job, what we'll do next, right? That is where the real challenge is. What is going to be the outcome of our course? But education is the process, okay? If the process is wrong, the outcome will not be correct, okay? And even though while you are going through the process, okay, while you're going through this process of education, it is very much important to know what is the next step so that you follow the correct steps, okay? And that is where we have to come into picture as Biotecnika, and we invited top academicians, educationalists, as well as scientists from all across India and the world, and we said, please come across and tell our people what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so I, along with my entire team, for the next 16 hours, that is 8 hours today and 8 hours tomorrow, will be live, standby here to answer your every question and to sort out anything and everything which you may face. Okay. Now, what do we expect from you for the next 8 hours today and tomorrow is, if you have any kind of questions, okay, that's something which can stop. So what you do is you please ping to us in chat and we will try to answer it. We'll try to resolve your queries, because remember, education is a process, and if the process is wrong, the outcome is definitely going to be wrong. Right? Now, some people, if you are facing any issues with the webinar or the conference, you can always join us on YouTube Live as well. Just click on the video of mine and you will be connected directly to YouTube Live. So you can watch us on YouTube as well as here. Right. So what I'm going to do now, as the welcome speaker, I have to give a welcome note to all of you, and I have to give you some motivational things before we get started, before our next speaker joins us. Okay. Here and there, there may be some changes in the schedule because of the availability of speakers. So that's something which we'll have to keep in mind. Okay. Remember, we will have a break at around 1 o'clock. 1 to 2 will be a lunch break. Okay, that time you can take lunch and then come back. Okay, so that's how it's going to work out, guys. I would really like to thank all of you to join in. And now let me start my presentation. Shall I? Do I have the permission of my attendees? Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to my talk. Give me a minute while I get started. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Kindly confirm if you can see my screen. All right. So welcome all of you, all the Biotecnika subscribers, educationalists, parents, children, and all those who want to make a career in biosciences. I, Shekhar Suman, welcome all of you to LEAF 2019. We want to add one extra leaf to your career. And we would like to start today's talk with a quotation by George Lorimer, where he said, "You've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction." Isn't that right, guys? If you really want to do something, then you've got to get up with determination. So before the determination comes into picture, you need to have the belief. Now, what goes wrong with all of us is if we don't have belief in the process, we will not pursue the process. Okay. So if you don't believe that life sciences can help you make a brilliant career, you'll never pursue it. And if you don't pursue it, that determination will not come and you cannot go to bed with satisfaction. So that determination has to come, and that will only come if you have belief, if you have faith in your career in life sciences as a field. Now, most of the times I get hell lot of emails and calls saying that there is no scope, there is no career, and we every day prove those people wrong, that there is scope, there is career. You have to just take a step, and that step should be today. Now, don't give a damn to what people say. Like I said, many people will say there is no scope, but don't give a damn, because first they will laugh at you. Okay, you're pursuing life sciences, they're going to laugh at you. Then they will challenge you. Okay, if you think that there is a scope, just go and get a high paying job. Once you have done that, once you become a senior scientist in a R&D lab or a HOD or wherever, then they will all appreciate you. Okay, and then They will start setting you as an example, saying that look at his dedication, how nicely he has carved his career. So it's all about faith. Just yesterday, I was interacting with one of the very famous scientists from ITC, and he told me that, you know, all my friends are working as HODs and various other top-notch scientists in various government labs. I was like, how is that possible? Like, what did they do? Then his answer was, they just believed in what they were doing and finished it completely, properly. So the thing is, you have to have faith and you should not give a damn on what people say. Remember, you are a seed. Do you remember the biology class where we were taught about turgor pressure? Remember that? So we all are a seed. We have a huge potential, like this seed which broke open a rock, as you can see in the picture, and it grew into a tree. So if somebody says that it's a huge roadblock in front of you, remember, you can break it, because you are a seed. You have that turgor pressure, you have that potential. Okay, but if you do not pursue that potential, things are not going to work out. A lot of +2 students have joined me today in this conference, in this education fair, and a message to them: you are a seed. In fact, all of you are listening to me right now. Remember, this rock you can break open. So don't worry, don't give a damn to what people say. So what you have to do, you have to increase your turgor pressure, you have to increase your potential. Okay, you have to begin your day with an I get to mentality. Okay, now what is I get to mentality? I got to get to work, I got to have a busy day, whatever it may be. Okay, we all of us, we often dress opportunities as stress. For example, when I said we will be live for the next 8 hours, you may think it as a stress. Oh my god, 8 hours I should be online listening to them. Instead, you dress this as an opportunity. Think that I'll get to learn something. Okay, take breaks, no problem. But that is the blessing. You are taking the blessing as stress, right? And that is where you should stop taking your blessings as stress. You have to increase your potential and solidify it. So what we have to do, exactly what we are doing right now, unite. We all unite together under the umbrella of Biotecnika. We all plan, we all execute, right? And we all win. As shown in the picture, the first guy would have fallen. You can see in the picture, the first guy would have fallen. But what did he do? He took the support of others, right? Here, this is the guy, Mr. 1, and then here is Mr. 2. Now, Mr. 2 would have fallen, and here is Mr. 3. But you can see, Mr. 1, 2, 3, none of them fell because they all joined hands together. You all are there right now, live in chat, listening to me live. You are those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all those people. Come join hands. Come, let us plan. Come, let us execute that plan. Come, let us have a plan A, plan B, plan C to the Z, and make sure that each one of us don't fall. We all not just survive or thrive, we prosper. As a life scientist, as a bioscientist, education is the process, correct? And the outcome is your job or salary or whatever work you do in your professional life. But learning is earning. So once a wise man was asked what is the meaning of life, and he said life has itself got no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create a meaning. So here we are together to create that opportunity for all of us by learning, because today if you learn, tomorrow you can earn more. Remember, mark my words, learning today will increase your potential to earn tomorrow. So never ever in life stop learning. Okay, so take control. take control of your life. You have to become the CEO of your life. Like I said in the beginning, I'm the CEO of Biotecnika. So I control the company Biotecnika. I run the company Biotecnika. But you are the CEO of your own life. So what you have to do, you have to hire. You have to fire and promote accordingly. Now, whom you should hire, whom you should fire, and whom you should promote, I'm going to talk about in the future slides. But something big is coming, guys, and that something is an explosion in life sciences. Okay, if that explosion happens, trust me, if that explosion happens, we are going to have immense potential, and definitely it's coming. You see, in 1902 humans didn't know how to fly, but today you have reached the space, you have reached moon. Mr. Elon Musk is planning to go to Mars. All that progress in the physics and chemistry world came in past 100 years, but the next 100 years, in fact this century, is for life science. CRISPR, recombinant DNA technology, next gen sequencing, and a lot of other technologies are going to come in. But if you don't become the CEO of your life, if you don't hire the right technology and people or environment for you, you are going to be fired from your own life. I'm sure you don't want that. So you should never give up. Can you see this tree in the picture? This tree says, I won't give up. Even if it fell down, it kept growing. As you can see here. Can you see that, guys? This is the tree, right? Now what this tree did, it fell down maybe because of some reason, but it said, I will never give up, right? So this process of education is going on in your life right now. If you give up, life is finished. You will never get the intended outcome. In fact, no outcome will come. Okay. Remember, winners never quit, quitters never win. And winners always look at the rewards of success and not at the pain of failure. So stop looking at that pain. The future is ours. And today, our people, our experts, speakers are going to tell you that. And Biotecnika, as always, has been there for you all the time. We will be there for you. We have been there since 2006, and we will be there as long as you want us to be there for you. Right? So that's about Biotecnika. So today is the day where we listen to the eminent educationalist. Today is the day when we interact with successful scientists. Today is the day when we ask queries about higher education to all these speakers. Today is the day when we will learn how we can enrich our careers using this technology. And today is the day when we say that even if we fail, failure is the first attempt in learning. Okay, and even if it feels like it's the end, remember, effort never dies. And even if you're getting a no as an answer, remember, no means next opportunity, right? So these are the lines with which I would like to tell you today that failure is an opportunity to begin again more intelligently. There is no harm in failing. So there is no harm in actually going out there trying, because unless you double your failure rate, you are not going to succeed. So let us fail. Let us start leave by saying that I am not scared of failure. I will fight. I will win. And I'll start next time more intelligently. That's about the first things which I wanted to share with you. Next, I have in store something which is not just related to education, it is related to your life. Okay. And I hope this was very useful till now, people. Did you enjoy so far? Right now, all the energy is coming, right? You are getting all the energy to get in and start talking to our speakers. So wait a minute, there is something little more, bit more I want you to listen to before I actually pass on the control, being an investor, right? Now, people People tell me, who do you think is an investor? Investor, who it is? Tell me. Investor is somebody who is smart, who knows where to put in the money. Am I right? Who knows where I should put in the money so that I can get more money, right? But you can be that investor. Now, how you can become that smart investor? That's the question. You can become that smart investor by today investing in learning. Now, learning is not about the books, the internal marks, the university, everything. Learning is all about applying whatever you have learned till now and then failing and learning again from it. Okay. Enrolling yourself into various courses, various workshops, various seminars, listening to the speakers, learning from what they have to say about their life, taking the entire juice and then attacking, right? So I want every attendee of LEAF 2019 to be a smart investor, right? How can you become a smart investor? By staying hungry. No, not about food. I'm not talking about food. Stay hungry for knowledge. Stay hungry to learn. Stay hungry to know more. What's next? What's the latest trend? Where I should be investing my time. Because as an investor, all you have got is time. Money will come eventually. But if you stay hungry, if you try to implement whatever is coming in, okay, you try to learn from the trends. The trend is going to come back to you and say, thank you for adopting me, and now I'm going to change your life. So that's where you become a smart investor, right? Does that make sense, guys? Perfect. So you have to tell yourself a true lie, okay? Now, what is a true lie? Okay. Now, just a note here. See, I'm not seeing your chats right now. I will come at the end and answer all your questions. Okay. So this is more or less, I wanted to motivate you. So I'm telling you some things, some tips about life and education. And then, I'll be in chat. So all throughout the day, I'll be there to answer you. But as of now, just listen to what I'm telling you. Tell yourself a true lie. Now, what exactly is a true lie? You may think, true lie. A lie which is true. A lie which is a lie today but true tomorrow or day after or in the future. For example, if I say, anybody say, Miss Navya is a senior scientist in some big company, say Genpact. Okay. So for today it's a true lie. But if Miss Navya starts to think in that direction, if she starts believing that is the truth, then she'll automatically start putting all the pieces to the puzzle how I can become what I have told to myself, right? So I'll tell you a small incident of Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was the mayor, retired now, of California. I hope you know him. He was a top hero in Hollywood, a big muscle guy, bodybuilder, right? So what happened is in 1972, his first movie, which coincidentally is called Stay Hungry, failed. Okay, it flopped badly. So he was sitting in a restaurant taking lunch, and one journalist comes to him and says, "Hey, how can you, sit here aram say your movie has failed?" Mr. Arnold replied that, "Hey, listen, I am going to be the #1 Hollywood hero one day," right? So the journalist started laughing. How is that possible? It's not possible because, see, your first film has failed. How can you become a top-notch hero, right? Actor. He said that, see, what I do is I do the same thing what I did when I was doing the bodybuilding. So I used to make that image in my mind and live towards that image every day. And that was the true lie he did to himself, right? So right now what he said is that's a true lie, that one day I'll be the #1 actor in Hollywood. Now he started living that life every day, behaving that way, acting that way, and that is where things worked out. I can see a chat right now coming in from Mr. Balaji Chandrasekharan, where he said that yes, today I am a scientist, but I failed so much, sir. Right? Let's learn from Mr. Balaji Chandrasekharan and from a lot of other people who told this true lie to themselves that one day I'll be a great scientist, one day I'll win the Nobel Prize. See, you don't tell that true lie, you never start working in that direction. Right? Today it may be a lie, but tomorrow is the truth. So keep your eyes on the prize. So once you have told that lie to yourself, you have to keep your eyes on the prize. Suppose you are in +2 right now, or in the first year bachelor's or first year master's. Now think where you want to get to. In life sciences, what is the maximum, penultimate or ultimate success you can say? The ultimate success I can think of is a Nobel Prize. Now keep that in your mind. Now keep that prize in your mind and keep your eye on that. Okay, be crazy for that dream. Write it everywhere. Take a printout. Read. One day I'll be a Nobel Prize winner. Stick it in your study room. Stick it in your washroom. Stick it in your bedroom. Everywhere. Put your wallpaper as that true lie. The more you look at it, the more you're going to make it happen. Okay. So you have to learn to sweat in peace. Now, all the educators with whom you are interacting right now, as well as who are going to come and speak here, they all have sweat it out in peace. Okay. Now, what do we mean? See, once you have passed out your education and once you are into job, you are at war. You are already into a battle. And that time you don't have time to learn. Maybe some smart people do that. Okay, I'm not denying that during job they cannot learn. Yes, they do. But during your education, you can sweat it out in peace. You are at peace. There is no deadline, there's no boss sitting on your head. Of course, there will be some teachers who would be sitting on your head to make sure that you reach your deadline, but all they are trying to do is make you disciplined for life. But once the battle begins, once you have passed out, there is no looking back. Right? So, what we should do, we have to learn to sweat in peace. And we have to simplify our life. If we complicate our life, we're not going to make it. Right? Now, I keep telling this to all my people here in Biotecnika also, please simplify your life. If you don't simplify your life, what happens next is you punish yourself. Okay? Each time you spend that extra 5 minutes in traffic jam, okay? Now multiply that 5 minutes into 30 days, into 12 months. You will realize how many hours of your life you wasted sitting in the traffic jam. Instead, you should have done something worthwhile. Simplify your life, uncomplicate. You remove all the traffic jams in your life, right? Now, that means you have to become more productive. If you want to become more productive, you have to respect your time, other people's time, be on time. Okay, like you joined us on time today in Leaf 2019. That's a wonderful thing. That shows that you have simplified your life. You have set aside this much of time for this work, right? So you have to simplify. Whether it is, you're staying away from the college or far from the college, think about it. If the same amount of hours you can spend in studying today, it is going to help you, sweat it out in peace. It will simplify your life. So Leaf 2019 is all about helping you simplify your life, helping you have faith in life sciences, and helping you understand the goal of your life, the goal of your education. Not succeed unless you attend us till the end. Now, look for the lost gold. Now, what would be look for the lost gold? What would be the gold I'm talking about? Is, let us give you an example of, suppose you are in your master's and you regret something that I should have learned this in my bachelor's. I wasted my life. Maybe logarithm, maybe in differentiation and integration, some maths or some chemistry or some biology topics or concepts which you regret that, I lost my time. I should have studied it that time only. No, look for it. That means start doing it now. Okay, if you are able to take out that gold for yourself, you are going to thank yourself throughout your life. Okay, and that's what I did to myself. I finished my bachelor's and then I realized I don't know how to calculate faster. I enrolled myself into a speed mathematics class, and 10 years later, I realized that speed mathematics helped me build a company like Biotecnika. Just a small thing, speed mathematics, right? So you have to look for the lost gold. You don't know when, what can help you. So my dear friends who are listening to me right now this morning, Leaf is all about helping you realize to get that lost gold back. Now, push all your buttons. Now, what is this? Imagine a washing machine, right? So what a washing machine does, you have to put the clothes in it. Of course, they say nowadays a smart washing machine, but still it is not smart. I'm talking about a normal washing machine. So you take automatic washing machine, you put the clothes, you put the detergent, and then you have to press the button, right? And give it instructions, run for 15 minutes, quick wash, right? So somebody else is doing it for the washing machine, but for you, nobody else is there, okay? And Leaf is not going to be there after 2 days. So this is the right time to tell you that, hey, you have to push all your buttons. Suppose laziness is one button in your mind. Okay, procrastination means delaying is a button in your mind that you keep delaying, you keep postponing things, right? So that is the button you have to press yourself and say, hey, I'll not postpone, I'll make it happen, right? So push all your buttons because there is no one else to do it. Okay, for a washing machine, you are there. For a TV, you are there to push the remote control. Okay, but for yourself, for your career, you are the only person who can push the buttons, right? So let's push our button, shall we? Yes, push the button. We'll never procrastinate. Push the button that will keep on learning lifelong, right? Next, build a track record. Now, why exactly building a track record is very important? You must have noticed this in your college days, that when you are studying and your conduct in the classroom helps you gain the internal marks. So your conduct and the way you behave in the classroom, the way you behave with your teachers, seniors or juniors, somewhere cumulative has an impact. So that is called as a track record. Your track record, even though you're very, very knowledgeable, but if your track record is bad in front of your seniors or your juniors or your classmates or in future your colleagues, you are not going to succeed. Okay. To become a Nobel Prize winner also, you have to work in a team. Correct. To work in a research lab also, you have to work in a team. So don't be the Sachin Tendulkar of your life. Okay. Become the Dhoni of your life. Become a team player. Okay. So what happens there? When responsibilities come upon you, people will have faith on you that this person has got a track record and he is going to help us succeed. So they will give you more responsibilities and more opportunities to learn. And that is very important. Now, welcome the unexpected. Now, like I told you earlier, life is unexpected. There's no manual which you got from God saying that, okay, you press this button, this is what will happen, right? It's all in your mind. So like, I'm sure none of you expected that I'm going to talk about all this as a first speaker in Leaf, because you might have expected that we'll come and say that, hey, this course is good, that course is bad. No, that will happen eventually later. But the unexpected part is where I tell you what's going wrong. Okay, the wrong which is going around you is you are not welcoming the unexpected. Something goes wrong. Okay, you anticipated that you will reach your college or university or laboratory within 30 minutes and there's a traffic jam. You have to welcome it. Okay, fine. It is taking 45 minutes. Let me learn in the meanwhile. Let me listen to some audiobooks. Let me learn what is new has come on Biotecnika website or somewhere on the YouTube. So when you welcome the unexpected and utilize that time to do something better, right? You have to welcome the unexpected. When you welcome the unexpected, then only things will fall in your favor. Okay, so there's someone who has written for me, this man is gold. Thank you, Devil Wolverine. That's the nickname he has put in. So all I am trying to tell you guys is you have to welcome the unexpected. You have to bring in those unexpected things as an opportunity. Don't think that, okay, I am not getting a job, that's unexpected, how can it be, I have completed my master's, right? Now use that time while you're going to get a job into something, some learning things, okay? And then things will start turning into your favor. You will fail. Let's agree to this, all of us, that we all will fail one day. But failing again and again and again, that's what we call it as an experiment, right? You all have signed up to become a scientist, I hope, or a bioprofessional. You have to anticipate. You have to bring in that goal, right? The unexpected. Now, find your master key. So I asked one of my colleague in Biotecnika, what's your master key? That means what motivates you? And that person said, it's a brownie. I started laughing. How can a brownie, motivate you? So she said that when I eat the brownie, I feel like, I'm fully activated. All my senses are ready, and I just jump in. So the moment I'm down, people have their own master key. So maybe whether it is food, whether it is something else, whether it is listening to a motivating session, you have to find that master key. And if you find that master key and start yourself, right, things are going to fall into place. Because when unexpected things come into picture, only the master key can help you, right? So this is where we are. We have to find our master key. What motivates us? What motivates you? What motivates Ranjit? What motivates Pooja? What motivates Niran? What motivates others who are listening to me right now? Master key. You have to find that master key and use that master key. Now, plan your work and time your work, okay? Now, when you are studying whatever courses you are studying, you have to write it down. Please take a paper, write it down. From this time to this time, I'm going to be in college. From this time to this time, I'm going to be doing this course. From this time to this time, I'm going to be enrolled into this online course. Okay. From this time to this time, I will be watching TV. So please plan your entire day. Okay. Write it down and see on an average how much percentage you are able to follow. After 30 days, you will realize that you are able to follow 100%. If not 100, at least 90%. So if you plan your work, if you time your work, means you take your mobile. Suppose this is the mobile. You say to, hey Google, I want you to give me an alarm after 10 minutes, right? Because I want to finish my bathing in 10 minutes. If you do that, so within 10 minutes, you're done. Otherwise, you just keep flowing throughout the day without being productive. And if you are not productive, you have not found your master key. You are not able to push your buttons. So planning saves a lot of time. So today, after this session, please take a paper and write down how your day goes on and how you can, squeeze out time for additional learning things. Now, very important thing, choose the happy few. Remember, in one of the second slides today, I showed you that people will first laugh at you, then they will come and tell you that this won't work. They will come and challenge you. So this kind of people will be there throughout the life. People will come and they'll say, no, this is not going to work out, whatever you're doing. So whether you studied engineering or mathematics or life science or any subject in life, there will be hundreds of people who will come and say, hey, you're going to be a failure, right? So what I mean to say is you need to hire only those people in your life who are happy to see you, who are happy to see your progress. And you have to surround yourself, okay, with the people who will come and say good things to you, encourage you, and tell you it's okay to fail. Don't worry. Please go ahead and try once again, right? Because there are negative people who will come and say, this is not going to work, Shekhar. Hey, just leave it. This is not going to work, Ranjit. This is not going to work, Surya Prakash. You'll feel like, what the hell? Who are you to tell me this, right? So you have to choose the happy few, surround yourself, who will keep you motivated, like water, right? Water is called as hydration, that process of drinking water, hydration. So you have to hydrate your mind with that motivation. And that cannot happen if you do not surround yourself with happy people. And learn to play a role. So what does that mean? You have to take one role. Like today, I took the role of a motivator or a CEO for the company. Same way, if you have to take a role, like a role of an educator, role of an academician, role of a professor, role of a scientist, role of a bioprofessional, take that role and surround yourself with people who can help you play that role. Okay, so so many people say when you go to if you're a good student or a topper, when you go to college, they will say, hey, he's just acting like a good student. There's nothing wrong in that. Let's enact that we are good. Let's enact that I'm a scientist. One day I'll be. So you have to learn to play that role. You have to learn to implement it, and slowly, this power of subconscious mind will make things happen for you. You have to use your brain chemicals to make that happen. Now, what does this mean, guys? Biotechnology is a vast field. Life science exists within everybody, right? We all are living example of life science, right? So if we are able to use our brain chemicals, if we are able to utilize those brain chemicals and motivate us, do the right things, not waste our time, stay productive, you will gain much more than what others gain in whatever lives. Now let me give you an example. You use your brain chemicals now. A normal person works how many hours in a week? 40 hours, 45 hours. But what if you choose the remaining 15-20 hours extra to do something worthwhile, to learn something which will help you, right? So now you have to use your brain chemicals. What you can learn in that extra 15-20 hours, and that's how you can become a billionaire, right? Now, Mukesh Ambani became a billionaire because his father was a billionaire. But his father, Dhirubhai Ambani, became a billionaire because he used his brain chemicals, right? I challenge you, till date, I have not heard of a life science professional becoming a billionaire. I want you to become a billionaire. Use your brain chemicals to become that. And that cannot happen unless you use the right tools, unless you learn, unless you listen to the speakers who have done a lot of things in this field of education. Next, stop living in your high school. While you are interacting with me, with all our speakers in chat, on YouTube Live, I can see that you have to stop living in your high school. Now, what does that mean? Stop being silly, okay? Keep it simple and don't stop being silly. Now, what happens in a high school generally? We bunk classes, right? We don't meet our deadlines. We don't do things on time. We go and watch movies instead of listening to the lecture. Okay, but that life has to stop somewhere. Now you have to get serious with your education, because education is that process which will give you the ultimate goal. Okay, you will listen to one of the podcasts which I did recently, and it will be published somewhere in May. The person did, genetic engineering, MSc in genetic engineering. I have interviewed that person, and then he goes ahead, and now today in the United States, he has helped 100 plus biotech startups, okay, to establish themselves, right? So how he did it? Because he stopped living in high school, right? He started doing things which will help him or her get serious in life, achieve the end goals, right? The true lies. Now, find your inner Einstein. Now, like I said earlier, if you do not push the right buttons, you can't activate yourself. You have to find that master key. But if you don't use your brain chemicals and don't become your own Einstein, then God help you. Now, what does this mean? You are going to listen to a lot of thoughts today. In fact, a lot of people are going to tell you a lot of different things, but you have to be your inner Einstein. You have to analyze. You have to read in between the lines what they mean to say. Okay. In fact, the recording of this will be available throughout the day and throughout the year. In fact, for the years together, as long as YouTube and Biotechnica exist, this recording will be there. Listen to this. Okay. Listen to this over and over and over again, and try to find that inner Einstein of yourself. Okay, we all are our own Einstein. And if we find that, then definitely we'll find that master key. Definitely we will be able to push the right buttons. Now, tell me guys, what is your biggest fear for today? Or at this juncture, what is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear? The biggest fear can be not getting a job after you finish your studies, correct? The biggest fear can also be, not qualifying your final exam, right? Thinking about the future. Yes, somebody wrote, thinking about the future, right? That's the biggest fear. Now you have to run towards it. Decide your fear and run towards it. As simple as that. Run towards it. Recently, we shared one, what you call it as quotation on Biotecnika. We say on Facebook page of Biotecnika, we shared that, if you are able to run towards your fear, you're eventually going to solve it. Okay. So what works here is, what is your fear? First, you have to decide what is your biggest fear. Fear of not, fear of parents, fear of teacher. Yes, those are understandable. What is your biggest fear here? You have to run towards it. And if you run towards it and you solve that, nothing like it, right? So you have to identify your fear and then become your Einstein. And as I told you earlier, you are a seed. You have tremendous turgor pressure. All you need is hydration, right? So what a seed does, when you put water, it grows, correct? Same with our brain. When we use our brain, we bring in hydration to the brain, means not water, motivation. When we bring in that motivation, the willpower explodes from our seed, that is us. When the willpower comes out, that willpower will eventually power us to succeed, to not be scared of our fear. Okay, so what you have to do, if you want to run towards your fear, embrace your willpower, right? Now open your present, or presents, as I say. Now present is what? Gift, right? We call this, I have brought a present for you, right? We have brought a gift for you. So what kind of gift? What present is the present for you? Means present is the gift. Today, there's today and there is tomorrow. There is yesterday. You can do nothing about yesterday, and you cannot keep worrying about tomorrow. All you have to do is live in today. So today is the gift. Utilize that gift, right? If you are able to utilize that gift, what happens next? You work in today. You decide what you have to do today. You decide. You start living in today. You plan for today. You execute it today, right? And then things start falling in place, right? So you have to open your gifts. That is today. That is the time today which we have got. Okay, right? The biggest fear, whatever you have got, if you really want to solve it, then you have to embrace your willpower today, right? So I would like to end my talk today with this, that you have to do whatever you want to do today, because there's no tomorrow and there is no yesterday. Okay, there's no such concept like yesterday. There's no such concept like tomorrow. Everything is today, right? And I can see a lot of interactions going on with our team in YouTube Live as well as in the conference. Thanks a lot for listening in to me. It was really wonderful talking to all of you. And I'll be here. I'll be around. Okay. And I would be answering all your questions. Now I have 9 more minutes. And if you haven't got any questions, I'm open to that. And afterwards also I'll be in chat, so nothing to worry. Right? Okay, I can see a lot of our speakers are already answering the questions there. If you have any questions, you can please give me a feedback of how was the talk. Thank you, Shikha. I just wanted to help you guys, and that is why we all came together and we said, let's motivate. So that is why one of the aim of our conference is to amplify your ambitions. You see, life science educational ambition fair. It's not education fair. We want to amplify your ambition of learning. Okay, so Nirmal has got a question: how to gain self-confidence? So Nirmal, you see, self-confidence is something, again, it is inside us, it is within us. Okay, we are a seed, it is in us. So what we have to do, we have to listen to more motivational stuff, because motivation is like water. When you put water on the seed, the plant grows. The same way, if you want to gain confidence, you have to water yourself with motivation, and eventually it will start disciplining you. You know, a few days back somebody told that if you really want to gain something in life, do it today. Don't give up and do it today. And I kept that with my heart, and I started working in that direction, and that's what I want you to do. Now, Philippe has got a question. Please speak on best strategy to overcome procrastination. Very good question, Philippe. Now, best strategy to overcome procrastination. Why do we procrastinate in the first hand? We procrastinate because of only a few reasons. Maybe we are scared of the outcome, okay, or we are not thinking actively or clearly. Okay, now what does it mean? Let me give you an example. Suppose you have an exam, right? But if you are not thinking clearly about it, if you're not thinking in that direction, you'll never take a step in that direction. So it's all in the thinking. If you really want to stop procrastinating, stop delaying things, okay, stop unachieving things, then you have to start thinking clearly. And if you really want to start thinking clearly, then you start writing. Okay, take a pen, take a paper, write. Okay, write what are the things which you want to do, and then put a timer or an alarm clock that this is what I am going to accomplish today. Tell yourself, promise yourself, I'll do it. And procrastination never helps. Okay, so Philippe, that is the best way to solve procrastination. Write it down and time it, plan it, time it. Procrastination goes out of the door. Correct? Right. So let me quickly look at some more questions which you might have. How to think and present in the present day. So I believe Balaji is asking about the how to think of the gifts of today, right? So see, today, what is today? You know, I got 24 hours today. You got 24 hours today. Mukesh Ambani got 24 hours today. Narendra Modi got 24 hours today. We choose how we want to spend it. Okay. If we choose the right things to do, okay, if we choose the right things to do, eventually it is going to work out. Right? So what happens is, today is the gift. 24 hours is the gift. Everybody in this world, God has given you 24 hours. And it is our, 24 hours. Nobody can take away from that. Nobody can take away that 24 hours from us. Unless we decide to be stuck in a traffic jam. Of course, that's a separate thing. But nobody can take away those 24 hours from us. Okay? So, if you really want to open the gifts of today, utilize that 24 hours perfectly. Don't think that, if I'll do it tomorrow or maybe day after, and you write it down and then you miss achieving on that. That's what Philip was asking. So procrastination is something, yes, you should never do. Plan it out, and of course you have to open the gifts for today. So somebody wrote, meditation can help us a lot. Yes, when you meditate, what happens? You try to think clearly, because you throw away everything else around you. Okay, nothing else you focus on, right? You focus on one point, and that is meditation is one good thing to do, right? So thinking clearly will help you, right? So this is all about me and all the thoughts which I have today. Now we will have the next speaker. We'll have a break of 5 minutes while our next speaker joins in. Okay. So please stay tuned, and whatever questions you might have, please keep asking in chat. We are right here. We'll answer all your questions. And if you like Leaf 2019 so far, please WhatsApp all your friends to join in, because we want to help more people. Okay, it is free of cost. It doesn't cost anything. It just costs you time. But trust me, it will be a worthwhile time for you and all your friends. Please share Leaf 2019 video link as well as the webinar or the conference link with everybody. Okay, there is no limitation to how many number of people you want to share. Okay, please go ahead and do that. We want to help everyone. Everybody is welcome. Fine. So I will take your leave now. I'll be around another 3 to 5 minutes. The next speaker should join in, and then we'll talk. Thanks a lot for listening in, and have a great day ahead at Leaf 2019.
Top 10 Survival Strategies for Freshers in Biotech Sector. Biotechnology is one of the booming sectors today. However, we find a lot of qualified students facing difficulty in establishing their careers in this field. In order to curb the situation, we need to understand what the industry desires and what sustains a human resource in their career. For a lot of students pursuing science, the goal usually is to become a doctor or an engineer, but very few minds are focused right from the start towards parascience or technology. Biotechnology is a field that allows human intervention in creating novel technologies and products to aid humankind. Here are some kind that will help you survive the first few difficult years in the field of biotechnology. Take the right decision. As a fresher in the biotech sector, the initial struggle remains confined to the decision of pursuing research, education, or industrial exposure. Be clear with your goals. Constant skill development. The second important task is to continuously upgrade your knowledge and skills. For example, if you wish to remain in research, it is expected that you must learn novel methods that help hasten your project completion. It is also important to read a lot of scientific work and keep yourself updated with the latest ongoings and current findings. Defend your work in an interview. Third, you must be completely confident and aware of whatever task, project or skill you claim to know. Since, given an opportunity, you must be able to defend your work in an interview or group discussion. This proves your integrity and confidence along with your skill. Follow your passion for selecting the field of interest. Never undermine any career choice. For example, if you wish to teach but feel that the education field does not supplement well monetarily, you will be at a loss. Find a way that helps you stay associated with the field and earn well at the same time. Innovate and be an entrepreneur. Never be afraid to try establishing an idea of your own. Fresh out of college, your mind might be brimming with ideas and inspirations. Set aside 6 months or a year in planning the same. Gather the capital and begin your own venture. Build a strong network. To survive in the industry, networking is very essential. Employers and institutes rely on credibility. Your skills and abilities can be proved when there are people to refer you. An experienced individual will have a reference from his past employers. However, for a fresher, the reference begins from his educational institutes itself. It is important for you to at least have 3 referees while preparing your curriculum vitae. Upgrade your CV to fit the right career. Most important thing is to highlight the right kind of details in your profile. For example, while approaching an educational institute, do not focus on your management skills. Try to focus more on your knowledgeability. Example, a paper publication written by you or classes that you may have conducted during your education or any teaching ability related degree, etc. Hands-on skills in internship. It is always good to begin with internships in organizations. In the biotech sector, a lot of preference is given to people with hands-on skills and abilities. To gather the same, begin internship programs during your college days itself. Increase awareness. Usually, freshers have very little guidance to begin with. As and when they begin their struggle period, they get acquainted with various companies, profiles, institutes, programs, etc. One usually skims through the most sought-after jobs, companies, but very few broaden their horizons. Choose the correct city. If you would have been in the finance industry, cities like Mumbai, Gurgaon, etc. would have been perfect to settle in. One must choose a career location in the region where it has the highest demand and is able to generate maximum employment. For example, R&Ds dominate the South and Western India. Pharmaceuticals dominate the Eastern India, etc. Choose cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and you will find it easy to grow your career as there is a wide range of opportunities in the biotech field offered by the cities. You must select the work profile that you wish to serve in and then keep a track of the companies that offer such positions. Career choice is an individual's own decision. In every path that we choose, there will be rises and rejections. The key is to remain patient and vigilant. As a fresher, do not restrict yourself to opportunities. Try approaching as many companies and institutes as possible. Sit for as many interviews as you can. They will help groom you and make you a stronger candidate for your future attempts. There are a lot of opportunities in biotech. The only trouble is we do not know where and how to look for them.
Should you have any questions, please comment below. Do not forget to subscribe to Biotecnica's YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with latest in BT sector.
All right, so now we have Ms. Rashmi Sanyal, the next speaker. And Rashmi, can you hear me? Would you please unmute your mic and check the mic?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am turning my screen on. I hope my voice is audible to every one of you.
Yes.
So a very good morning to one and all, and a warm welcome to our conference on LEAF. Now, I, Rashmi, will be speaking upon the next topic, which is, I'm sure many of us keep wondering and keep running away from this, but I would like to discuss what is the importance of mathematics when you are building a career in life sciences. So as we all know, physics, chemistry, biology, and maths, these are the four important broad domains that is present in the science. But often what we do is, once we clear our school level, we often neglect the mathematics portion upon the four subject sciences. What we do is either we move in for physics, chemistry, biology combinations, or we look for a physics, chemistry, mathematics combination, but we don't consider the importance of both biology and mathematics at the same time when we are looking at a career. So today what I'll be doing is, I'll be showing you how important mathematics is when you're looking at a long-term career, when you're looking at a career, for example, even if you want to choose the teaching field, if you want to go into research, if you want to pursue medicine, any field, you name it, there is a relevance of mathematics in all of these. Now, as I just now told you, physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, these are the four important domains of life science. Now, definitely, there is an overlap between all of this. For example, I'm sure all the biology aspirants who are out there listening to me right now, you will agree that in each and every step of your life, chemistry has been there with you. For example, let me just talk about a system, or say the human body, and what are the functioning that are happening in the human body. So don't you have metabolism going on? Don't you have signaling going on? So what is all this? End of the day, it is nothing but chemical processes or chemistry that is happening within your body. Similarly, when you look at chemistry, it is made up of a lot of equations. It is made up of a lot of flow chart process, and hence it has mathematics behind it. So definitely all these four branches in short are interconnected. So let's see what we have in store for you. Now, the way I want to begin my presentation today is, I want you all to ask yourself these basic questions. The first and foremost question that you should ask yourself is, do I enjoy mathematics? Now, this is a very tricky question. For example, I know many of you will agree that somehow we sat through our maths paper, somehow we qualified, and after that, we don't wish to continue with it. But there are few of us who definitely enjoy mathematics and who like solving problems. For example, go back to your school days. I'm sure many of you would like to listen to the radio and start solving your mathematical problems, wouldn't you? Yes, so if in case you find any, if you want me to repeat anything or you're not able to listen to me, please ping through your chat so that I can reply to you. Now, as I was saying, so many of you would definitely go through your radio, would listen to music and would like to solve maths. So that's a way wherein you enjoy solving maths, or you like solving maths along with different subjects or as a pastime. Now, if that is the case, then you need not worry about at all, because maths will look enjoyable to you at any moment presented in your lifetime. For example, when you're going to a shopping market, you can do calculation on the fingertips. Next, the next category of question or the next category of people would be, I like maths, but I do not want it to stay throughout my life. Now, in this condition, what should I do? I like it, I have qualified it, but would I want to continue forever? Oh, sure, Balaji, I'll slow down a little. Okay, so Balaji, as I was saying, that if you enjoy mathematics, but you do not want it to continue throughout your life, then in that scenario, what should you do? Well, I have some things. For example, I would like to emphasize on the fact that maths never leaves your side. For example, when you pursue life sciences, you have a lot of experimentation to deal with. In that condition, your lab skills have a lot of mathematical calculations, graphical analysis that go along with it. Leave that aside. When you go to look through the weather, when you go do your normal day routines, you have maths associated with it. So maths actually never leaves by your side. The third concept would be, am I confused with a few concepts? Now this is where many of us get stuck. So we know maths, we are able to solve it, but we don't remember everything in detail. Now my advice to you would be, why don't you sit back and prepare some charts? So prepare charts and surround them in your room, keep them accessible, readily accessible around you, so that every morning when you wake up, you are able to look through these charts and you're able to memorize these concepts. This is one. Next, am I unable to remember major formulae? Now, as I said, maths has a lot of sub-branches within it. You have geometry, you have algebra, you have mensuration, trigonometry, you have limits, function, calculus, etc. So, am I comfortable remembering all these formulae at once? Now, there is no direct answer or there is no direct solution that I can provide. All I can say is practice can make a man perfect. So whatever you do every day, if you look through different formula, if you look through different concepts, if you try and analyze small problems at a time, you will figure out that these formula are stuck at the tip of your tongue. For example, why don't you sit back and explain a mathematical sum to maybe your brother or your sister or somebody, a small child in your house? What happens is all these daily revisions, all these daily explanations, they make your knowledge stronger. They make your concept stronger. Now, these are the 4 conditions where you can sit back, work upon, and you can enhance your abilities. But what about the last part? Am I afraid of maths? Now, this is something that as a student, many of us will say, I am afraid of maths. Now, what do I do in that case? Whenever I open a maths book, it looks all gibberish to me. Now, that is something which will slow down your progress, which will slow down your development. Because as I said, different equations, different formula, different analysis will always be a part and parcel of your life. But then again, if you fall under this category where you are afraid of maths, let me ask you a few more questions. How do you perform all these activities? For example, how do you analyze patterns? Now, you will find when you sit for competitive examinations, you have a lot of logical derivation, analytical patterns, pattern prediction to be done. The same thing, if you look in your daily life, it is as simple as picking out the colors in your room, picking out a right fit cloth for you, picking out the right dress combination. What are all these? These are nothing but matching patterns. So pattern matching, if you find it interesting in your daily life, why not do the same or apply the same logic when you're solving any competitive exam? Right? The next concept I would like to bring is measurement. Now, many of you, I'm sure, at this age, you would have at least made tea or you would have at least tried baking a cake. Right? You would have had some attempts in cooking. Now, definitely cooking requires the art of measurement or the precision, because we all know 1 teaspoon of salt can make the taste completely different. I'm sure you agree with me. In this scenario, okay, I see a lot of chats coming in where, okay, Balaji, Pooja, yes, Pooja, I see you fall under this category wherein you are afraid of maths. So in this condition, that is what this slide is telling you, that when you are cooking, aren't you doing maths behind the scenes? For example, aren't you calculating how much sugar for how much salt per unit, or let's say per unit flour that I add? So all this is nothing but measurement. Now pick the same measurement. I see Shubhangi agreeing with me. Great. So I pick the same measurement, and why don't we apply it in a lab skill? Okay. So when you calculate the pH for a buffer, do you just randomly go across putting in acids and bases? No, I'm sure no. I see a lot of you agreeing with me. You're not able to do pattern, Pooja. No problem, not at all. See, pattern is about visualizing things. When you are able to visualize something, you are able to predict it better. So how do I make myself stronger in patterns? What you can do is see a lot of practice problems. See what is the logic or what is the idea that is there behind solving a series. Yes or no, failure does bring negativity, but how do you stay away from it is think about the positive side of failure. As Shekhar sir pointed out, everything that you do in life, whether the outcome is positive or negative, take it as a learning. Okay, take it as a learning, take it as an opportunity to move ahead. If you fail at something, there is always a next time. You should never make that as your end decision. For example, when you sit for an exam, it is possible that you did not qualify the exam on the first go. Do you just pack your books, close your books and leave that? No, because that is what your passion is. You want to try hard and soul and cross that exam. It may be at the level of MBBS. It may be at the level of qualifying for PhD entrance, right? Okay. So as I was saying, now how can I put maths into improving my lab skills? Similarly, when you prepare a solution, you just don't go arbitrarily adding all these acids and bases. What do? There is a huge list of calculation that goes behind it. If you are precise with the calculation, it will save your time. When you prepare the exact buffer, when you get the exact salt combination, that is when your food turns out to be tasty, and that will be rewarded by the smiles that you put on your family. Similarly, if you prepare a proper solution, you get the results quick, you complete your PhD quick, you complete your thesis fast, and that smile will be there on your face for the rest of your life. Okay. Let's move in for estimation. No problem, Chamsang. If you are bad in maths, there is always a scope for practice. If you practice, even out of 20 questions, if you are able to attempt at least 2, if you are able to practice and make that at least 3 the very next day, you will find slowly and steadily you will begin enjoying maths. See, maths is there in everything in the world. It's only the eyesight, it's only the way you look at it. Okay? If you think of maths as a monster, it will always be there hiding behind your bed. But if you feel that maths is something that will help you grow in the future, that will help you become more precise, more strong, more accurate as a person, then you will find maths being there helping you by your side. For example, many of you, I'm sure you're trying to count how many slides, how many images per slide, what is the time given. All of this is mathematics that you're doing at the click of a finger. Okay, so as I was saying, so many of you, I'm sure you are cricket fans, you are cricket fanatics, you like watching football, don't you? Yes, Devil Wolverine, I see. Okay, so Vedic maths, that's a very brilliant branch of mathematics that we have that will help you understand quick problem solving abilities. So there is no age for learning Vedic maths. You must, each and every one of you must try and understand Vedic maths, try practicing, try looking at the logic that us, our ancestors have been building throughout their lifetime. Their intelligence has been passed in a very beautiful manner. Okay, Pooja. So I'm happy to know that you liked maths, but you weren't able to study well. No problem, Pooja. Exams are not the end of everything. What you learn in life, that is what matters. So as I was saying, so are there any cricket fans today among us? So how many of you are cricket fans, football fanatics, like watching sports, badminton, or how many of you play in your daily life? Yes, correct. Thank you, Renu. Thank you. So how many of you like, okay, I see Mridula. Oh, Sushmita, no cricket, no problem. Balaji, I see you are an IPL fan, Pooja. Very good. Okay, so what I mean to say is, what is cricket all about? Cricket has a lot of scores. Okay, Polomi is in for football. Right, so volleyball, very good. So how many baskets do you make, Simran? So the thing that I wanted to point out is, all the sports that you're interested in, it's nothing but an array of maths. Let's estimate in IPL, what was the turnout today? So how many people were voting for, say, Kolkata Knight Riders? How many people were voting for Delhi Daredevil? What is all this? All this estimation, percentage. Why do you find interest in it? Because you like the field, you like sports. So calculating this it's on the tip of your fingers, isn't it? Now apply the same percentage and try solving a genetic equation. What is the probability of the disease occurrence? It's the same story. You find sports interesting, so you like remembering all these stats. How many centuries did Kohli make? How many centuries or how many runs per ball or runs per over did Sachin make? What are all these? These are statistics. Use the same statistics when you're solving biology. So how many signaling molecules or inhibitors are required to stop a particular pathway? What is all this? Nothing but estimation. Yes, follow me, right? Okay, so Shubhangi likes genetics. So I'm sure, Shubhangi, you will agree that mathematics has a huge role in genetics, isn't it? The very probability of being able to predict what sort of traits will a child have, that is nothing but mathematics. That's the beauty of prediction, of mathematics, statistical calculation that we have in our power today. Let's look at fractions. So another thing that will help you when you are cooking, when you are, for example, if you are a painter. So I'm sure many of you during your pastime, you would like to paint. How do you pick the correct shade? How do you pick the correct shade of a color? It is nothing but fractions. You put a dash of white, you put a dash of red, and you get a beautiful pink. That is fraction. Use the same fraction when you're calculating a population density. How many people belong to the Asian country? How many people belong to the Australia or maybe to the American continent? So what are all these? These are nothing but fractions put in daily life. This is nothing but the same concept behind fractions put in biology. Yes, correct, Phoebe. Maths and genetics always go hand in hand. Next, predicting the weather. So when you're predicting weather, you always predict the weather in the upcoming week. You can even predict it for the upcoming month, for example. We have that good satellite activity, or we have that good a prediction mechanism in our med department. What is that? It is nothing but probability. So am I using probability in my daily life? Yes, I am. The same probability if asked in a competitive exam, I fear away from it. Why? It's the same story given in paper, only the examples differ. Next, I'm sure many of you will right now be wondering about budget. So just now we've crossed the tax month. Many of you would be wondering about what will the next budget be? What is the next raise that CSIR aspirants will get? What is the value of maybe a college level admission? All of these are nothing but planning of budget. What do I do? In order to get one, I compensate on the other half. That is nothing but what you are expected to do when you are a research scientist. For example, if I have to make a particular experiment click, I need a little bit of that. I need a little bit of that. In order to get these, I need to minimize on my expenses on something else. That is pure maths. Interest, rate, calculation, mathematics again. Similarly, you will find it when you're calculating time, when you're looking at geometrical shapes, when you're looking at geometry when it comes to the design of your beautiful city, when you're looking at money, it's all maths. So will today all of you go home and say that you are afraid of maths still? I'm sure many of you will think no, because maths is there as a part and parcel of your life. Today, if I give you a blueprint like this for your future home, you will go home, you will pick the right colors, you will pick the right designs, and this is what you will give as an outcome. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you put in your effort to design your own house? Then the same effort needs to be given to understand science. The same effort needs to be given to understand disease. The same effort has to be given when you practice agriculture. Correct? So all these depend upon whether you treat science as your passion. If it's your passion, then mathematics will always be along and you will not be scared of maths anymore. Keeping that point in mind, let us look at the different avenues where minimal maths is required and where you need a lot of mathematical calculation. Minimal maths, for example, when I talk about easy calculations, when I talk about simple processes, the most important thing that comes to our mind is botany and zoology, the study of plant science and the study of animal science. For example, let us pick up botany. In botany, where do I require maths? For example, photosynthesis. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much, Pooja. I'm very happy that I could help you with all of these concepts. Now, botany and zoology, the thing that I was saying, for example, let's pick photosynthesis. What happens in photosynthesis? We do an energy calculation. We do an yield calculation. That is nothing but simple mathematics that is required. Look at the equation of photosynthesis, where you have the input as carbon dioxide, water, and you have the output of glucose, oxygen, energy. This is nothing but an equation made up of chemistry. And wherever there is chemistry, there is an energy calculation, there is an yield calculation, it is followed by maths. But you don't need anything complex. You just need to understand the input versus the output, right? So physiology, when we are looking at cultivation, the main portion that we require is understanding the science behind it. If we are comfortable understanding a plant body, understanding the physiology behind it, what are the processes that are working? Thank you, Daksha. Thank you for this. Now, what are the processes that are functioning behind it? It is nothing but your botany and zoology presented to you in a simplified manner. So if you like characterizing a plant on your way, sit back today while you're driving back home, try and look at a tree and try and figure out what that particular tree belongs to. Which family is it? Which phylum does it belong to? Similarly, when a mouse crosses your road or when a cat passes by, try and figure out which particular breed is it? What particular family does it belong to? If you are able to answer these and if you're finding interest in it, that means you can be a successful botanist or you can be a successful zoologist. And believe me, there are multiple career avenues if you pick these up as your graduation subjects. Similarly, the same thing applies to forensic science. If you are in love with the environment around you, if you are in love with a little bit of statistics, math specifically, probability is very important. Exactly, Jomi. So microbiology, I will be discussing that as well. So Jomi says microbiology requires maths. Yes, because these are nothing but growth of microorganisms, something that you can't even see with your naked eye. So the first thing that you're using to visualize is mathematics, right? You're using microscopy. You're enhancing visibility. That is mathematics. You're using mathematics to understand growth. That is mathematics. Yes, follow me. So biostatistics is even. Correct, Shubhangi. So that's the beauty of botany and zoology. When you love nature, botany and zoology is imprinted in yourself. Now, as I was saying about forest science, if you feel the same about your environment, if you feel planting trees, the proportion of trees, which tree loves monsoon, which likes to grow in temperate countries, which is growing in heat tolerant areas, all of this is nothing but the study of forest science. So how do I cultivate? What is the percentage? What is the area covered under it? These are the mathematical requirements of forest science. Similarly, if we look at subjects like pomology, nutrition, pomology is nothing but the study of fruit growing. You can also call this as fruiticulture. Okay, so this is nothing but study and cultivation of fruits. What is the yield? How do I make the yield better? All of these fall under fruit science, wherein you require minimal mathematics, you require minimal statistics, but this is all about the love of food. If you find yourself to be a foodie, if you like giving diets to your parents, to your siblings, nutrition is the right subject for you. So nutrition, you find that you have a lot of different combinations to be predicted. That is where you need a little bit of maths to understand the chemistry behind it. All of these are where you require mathematics at a little amount. Let's look forward. How about agriculture science? The place where you are talking about yield of plants, where you are talking about the yield of crops. In all of these areas, you do require mathematics in a little amount. For example, if I need to cultivate a particular species in a better environment, how much pesticides have been transferred into one particular crop. So what is the amount of percentage of pesticides and biopesticides? What is the harm? What is the benefit? How can I make it better? If you understand your plant well, if you are able to characterize them well, if you understand what is going on within their body, then agriculture requires minimal maths and is the right avenue for you. Let's look at veterinary science, another domain where you do not need much maths. Many of us, we love animals, we love pets, right? But what happens is a pet is like a child to you. It's like a child to your family. If anything happens to it, you must be able to solve the problem. Veterinary science is a discipline which does the same. You take a pet to a clinic, and just like how a doctor treats a patient, your pet is going to be treated and he feels much better. In veterinary science, it is just like how you practice medicine, only the subject body would be that of animals. And here again, you need minimal maths. Similarly, if we look at a graduation, post-graduation avenue for life sciences is somewhere else where you require minimal maths, because life science has a lot of branches under it. You have the plant science, you have the animal science, you have the microbiome. You require maths in all of these. What are the basics? We need to have a foundation. Zoology, for example, if you like animal system, if you are able to classify them, if you are able to understand the physiology of an animal, Chansang, in those cases, zoology would be the correct avenue for you. And in zoology, researching in a zoo is one of the prime aspects that zoology students have, because you have a lot of subject matter that you are exposed to. For example, let's talk about keeping an animal safe, conserving the species of an animal. That is one. Let's talk about preparing a new breed of something so that we can have the good traits passed on into a progeny. That is another aspect. Right? So all of these fall under zoology, and definitely working in a zoo is one of the most prestigious jobs that a particular zoology student could have. Now, coming back to my presentation, again, physiology, that's another interesting chapter wherein you need to understand what is the metabolism, what is the processes that is happening in your body. Associated with it is MBBS. So again, here you require minimal maths, because here you're understanding the processes inside a body. So if you're strong in biology, this is the correct avenue for you. And lastly, environmental science. If you are very, very aware about your surroundings, if you are very aware and you want to keep your environment safe, you want to work for the future, all of these are different aspects wherein biology is helpful, wherein physiology is helpful, and wherein maths is required, but as an aid. Now people say that I love maths, then why you choose biotech? No, Uday Kumar, the same thing that I was saying, even biotech, the moment you told me about tech requires mathematics. You're talking about technology. All of these go hand in hand. If you are a biotech student and you are afraid of switching on a computer, you will never be able to pursue sciences, for example, bioinformatics. That is a branch of technology. That is a branch of biotechnology. You will never be able to figure out the working of a fermenter if you don't understand maths. So Uday, my answer for you would be, if you even choose to be a biotech student, you definitely need to have a mathematical background so that you are able to solve all these daily problems. Now, I'll be showing you the avenues where maths is required, and you will find that my first and foremost subject is BTech Biotech. So as I just now said, the moment that tech is associated with your subject line, you must remember that maths will be heavily required for that. Because when you're looking at engineering, you're talking about precision. In this image itself, you will be finding that this person is dealing with so many instruments at once. What are all these instruments? What is the working behind it? How do I calibrate it? Calibration, it is maths. So engineering has a lot of maths behind it. Correct to there. You like biotech and you respect maths. Exactly. Loving a science, loving biology is something, but we cannot ignore that there is another portion, maths, which is needed to help it. So as Uday I said, you will be thinking about different calculations, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you go into a lab today and try fixing a solution? Wouldn't you adjust a microscope to get a correct visibility? That is all maths. All the data that you get dumped in the form of graphs, that is all maths. Okay. So BTech Biotech, another place where you require to understand the functioning of different instruments. You are required to calibrate them for a beautiful process, for a successful process, high yield, that is all maths. Next, the most important topic is ecology. Ecology cannot happen without mathematics and statistics. When you're talking about population growth, when you're talking about population density, all of these are nothing but mathematics. When you're trying to get a better yield, mathematics. When you're trying to save a species, statistics. So statistics, data, how do you think we talk about global warming today? We talk about the past weather in the past 20 years, statistics. So ecology, environment, they all require maths and stats. I will soon be telling you what are the different topics that you require under these subjects. Next, applied biosciences, applied biotechnology. So you can see a nice, beautiful pipette being used and she's trying and optimizing some experiments. Optimization, that is mathematics. Preparing the right solution to get the correct yield, to get the correct result, mathematics. B-Pharm, understanding composition that will affect your physiology, mathematics. Understanding the right combination, mathematics. Correct, Manishankar. Data collection and data interpretation, that is statistics. So ecology may not be directly correlated with maths, but yes, biostats is definitely involved. And when I'm talking about mathematics, there is logarithm that you involve in that. So what do you do with all these data, Manishankar? You try and analyze them. You try and predict something. So even when you say data collection, the output is nothing but mathematics. Okay, right, Balaji? So precision, accuracy, standard deviation, all of these are parts of bioscience and all of these are definitely required. Next, coming to genetic engineering. You don't want your engineering to go wrong. You want to isolate a gene A and you go and excise a gene B. No, that should not happen. How do I calculate this? I calculate the basic distance between DNA. That is mathematics. If my distance calculation goes wrong, if my measurements in angstrom, in nanometers go wrong, my engineering will go wrong. And instead of making a plant resistant to a disease, I may induce susceptibility to a very new disorder. I cannot afford to go wrong. That is engineering. Next, radiography. All the tests that you do, all the lab tests that you do, the analysis that how much of a fracture is there, whether it's a hairline fracture, understanding the X-ray, understanding your ECG report, understanding your MRI, all of these require mathematics. So radiography is one such example where mathematics will help you gain precision and gain analysis. Now, for all of you who are wondering that all these subjects, if it requires maths, then what are the topics that I must remember? The first important thing is logarithm. So logarithm will be there throughout your studies. For example, just like one of you said that you are doing a research on microbiology and you require maths in it. So you require logarithm when you're trying to analyze the population growth. You require logarithm when you're trying to do a population density or a population growth in ecology, when you're trying to predict it, when you're trying to predict the growth, when you're trying to understand what is a log phase, what is a lag phase, that is nothing but having logarithm in it. Next important thing, lot score in genetics. So I see many of you who are genetic aspirants. Exactly, calculation of genetics. Shubhangi wants to work with genetics. In genetics, you have log score. Log score is the logarithm of the odds. What is logarithm of the odds? It's nothing but a statistical estimation of whether two genes or a gene and a disease are likely to be located near each other on a chromosome. So whether you inherit them together or whether you inherit them differently, you require logarithm of the odds. So that is where you use it in genetics. Enzymology and rate kinetics, another place where log is used. I'm sure many of you would have heard that many of you would have gone through Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Have you all heard about it? Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, a nice, beautiful, long equation with something called as conjugate base and acid. Okay, so have you all prepared any buffers? Yes, okay. So Henderson-Hasselbalch, what is that? That is nothing but taken in terms of logarithm. So very important terms that I want to say is today go back and ask yourself, do I know the value of log 10? Do I know the value of log 1? If yes, do I know the value of log 0? So do you all know what is the value of log 0? Okay, Pooja. So yes, Aritri, you've seen it in chemistry. Very good. So do you know what's the value of log 0? Daily preparing buffer but don't know calculation. See, Balaji, that is where you are going to fall back or your development will be halted, because when you do a research, when you participate in a PhD program, you cannot rely on something that is readily available. You must be able to understand it at the background. What is the maths or the chemistry that is happening behind it? If you can today prepare your buffer, you will never go wrong in estimations and you will never go wrong in optimization. So Balaji, my takeaway for you would be go home and understand the basic concepts that is required to prepare a buffer, and you will feel the difference tomorrow. Okay, Jomi, so it's 1. No, absolutely not. Polomi and Kaishu, I see you've got it right. It's undefined. Okay, because log 10 is 1, log 1 is 0. But if I suddenly ask you what is log 0, many of you would have told me 1, many of you would have told me 10, but it's undefined. So that's the beauty. We know what is logarithm, but today go home and see if you remember all these values. And tomorrow, when you do your buffer calculation, you will see how fast and how interesting it has become. Definitely competitive exams. So be it in your school days, be it in your college days, be it in your research, any exam that you give, you will require these problems, you will require these formula for easy and quick calculation. Today, if I give you a question like this, the way to solve it is using log. The second thing, probability. So the probability, what is the probability today that you will go home and practice maths? It may be close to 0, but what am I doing? I am just trying to estimate something. I'm trying to estimate something in the future, something that has not occurred. Similarly, when you're dealing with pedigree analysis in genetics, when you're trying and dealing with what sort of trait will a child inherit? What is the percentage of inheritance? You're talking about probability. So probability is nothing but in a bag, if I have red balls and white balls, what is the chance that the first try I get a red ball? That is probability. So probability is used in inheritance. It is used in population ecology. It is even used to predict mutations. What is the chance that the next disease or the next particular progeny is going to have the disease, is going to have that mutation? Exactly, Jomi. So chemical formulas like molarity. What is molarity? You have molarity, you have maths behind it. You will also have Henderson-Hasselbalch where you have log behind it. So for example, reaching a destination today will have many paths. It depends upon which path you choose. If you choose to calculate buffer based on normality, molarity, that is one path. If you choose to prepare it based on acid and base, based on the pH and the pKa value, that is another path. So one particular solution, there are many paths, and all these paths are relevant in different experimentations. So that is when I said that log will be of help to you. Next, probability is also required in clinical trial. What is the probability that the particular drug that I have predicted is going to show an effect? What is the probability that it is going to cure the disease? That is all probability. Sampling, competitive exam. So probability is something that many of you would have skipped during your 11 and 12. Many of you might not even learnt it because after 10th you don't have maths. But remember, probability is there in each and every step of your life. Predicting the weather tomorrow is probability. Similarly, predicting your experimental result is probability. Yes, Balaji. So Balaji is working in clinical trials and he believes probability has a huge role because trials, when the term trials comes, that is nothing but probability. Okay. Now my next topic for you would be mean, median and mode. So what is the average student today who wants to take up genetics tomorrow? What is the average number of students today who likes to pursue research? What am I doing? It's statistics. I am calculating the mean, I am looking for the median, and I'm trying to predict the mode. So these are nothing but some statistical data which is used in population ecology, which is used in quantitative genetics. You even use it in agriculture. For example, if I have many seeds, then out of that, how many seeds are able to give me a proper plant? How many seeds are turning infertile? What do I use? I use a data with mean. When I'm looking at clinical trials, I use the average, I use a median, I see the number of possible predictions. Forestry, same goes for bioinformatics. For example, when I try and predict something in a graphical manner, when I try and understand what is a GC rich region, I take the average. I don't go sit and calculate the GC 1, 2, 3, 4. I cannot do it because your DNA has roughly 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. If I go and sit and calculate for all of this, it may take a lot of time for me. So what do? I look at the next best possibility. I look at a section and I predict what is the average bases that are there. That is mean, median, mode. I do it in epidemiology, which is dealing with the incidence or possible control of a particular disease. Food safety, what is the prevalence, and competitive exams. So all of these require mean, median, mode. Now, coming to my next topic is graphical analysis. This, I am sure, be it at any level, you have been exposed to a lot of graphs. Today, when you look at, for example, the share market, what is it? Graph. Open your Google and just type what is the dollar rate today. What do you get? A graph. Over maybe 5 months, over maybe 1 month, over 5 days, graph. When you look at an ECG report, what is it? A graph. So graphical analysis is there in every step of your life. When you're practicing ecology, when you're looking at the population growth, or simply when you're looking at a sigmoidal growth curve, it's a graph. So what is this lag phase, log phase, stationary phase? Where is the exact toxicity forming? It's all graph. When you're looking at a rate equation, when you're looking at, for example, you're looking at allosteric inhibition, you're looking at hemoglobin binding versus myoglobin binding. All of these are nothing but graphical analysis. Agriculture, prediction of crop yield, graph. Clinical trials, seeing the effect on a mass of people. Greater the sample, the wider the graph. Bioinformatics, just like how I said, predicting nucleotides in, for example, your NGS, in your sequencing, graph. Looking at medical reports, graph. So graphical analysis, you must take time, pick up different graphs, try and analyze, try and see what is the output. Yes, correct, Pooja. So you have tons of graph every day. Even for that matter, as I am speaking to you, in the background, in Google, in the Med department, many graphs are being automatically generated. They are all graph. Today, you would have seen in the past week, the black hole image that was generated. That is nothing but data observed from various different telescopes. How did I get all that? Graph. How did I get all that? Mathematical calculation, data accumulation. All of these are maths required in your everyday science. Venn diagrams. Another important thing, just like how I said that physics, chemistry, biology, they are three aspects of science, for example. Where physics and chemistry comes together, you have physical chemistry. Where you have chemistry and biology, you have biochemistry. Where biology and physics comes together, you have biophysics. So all three together are your daily life science careers. This is nothing but in terms of a Venn diagram, right? So Venn diagram is something when I try and analyze overlaps, when I try and understand the percentage of overlap between traits. The same thing I use in genetics, ecology, in inheritance, understanding clinical trials, bioinformatics, understanding disease progression, and competitive examination. So all of these require Venn diagram analysis. They require various statistics. Now, the next important topic is algebra. So algebra is nothing but quantifying the unknown, predicting the unknown. When you look at mathematical modeling, I'm sure many of you wouldn't have heard about this. What is mathematical modeling? Or you would have heard about it, but you're not very sure what it is. What is mathematical modeling? It is nothing but translating a problem statement in any area into a maths formula. So today, if I have a system, if I have a human body, if I have a particular equation flowing A to B, B to C, etc., this is nothing but a cell signaling, for example. Make a maths out of it. What is the equation? Which is the rate limiting step? What is the enzyme? What is the inhibitor? If you can model a regular phenomena, that is mathematical modeling. And here I am talking about the unknown. That means algebra will be used. Calculate solute potential, for example. What is the ability of diffusion? How fast can sugar travel from the leaf to say, a fruit? Calculating all these, calculating how fast can the root pick up water. That is nothing but algebra. Genetics. How many children are there? Out of that, how many have red hair? How many have black hair? Algebra. Biochemistry. Calculating everyday problems in biochemistry. So all of these are algebra. So I see a lot of questions. Yes, Shivli. Informatics on bioinformatics, SAS programming. You will also have learned about R, Python. These are nothing but analytical tools that are required in your daily life science. For example, when you get a lot of data, the first thing that you do, example, if I just give you random numbers. So Shivli has a very nice point wherein she wants to know about programming that is used or bioinformatics in sciences. Suppose I give you random number 1 to 10. Okay, if I tell you 9, 7, 6, 2, 2, does it make any sense to you? No. What do you do out of this? First is arrangement of data, then removing redundancy. When you do all of this, the data will slowly make sense to you. It's nothing but, for example, Shuli, I'll just give you a very common example. You've just heard about the black hole image. Okay. So you guys, do you know how black hole image was actually formed? Have you ever thought or have you gone home and read about it? How was the black hole image formed? Yes, Shivli, so my question for you, since you're interested in bioinformatics, did you wonder how the black hole image was formed? Have you seen? Sukant Kumar, yes, okay. So some of you must have gone back and must have read. You know what, the black hole, since it is such a huge phenomenon and it's so far away, you need telescopes which is as big as your Earth, okay? But practically that is impossible. So what was done is small telescopes on different areas. The data was captured from there. Okay, and all these data using different analytical tools, using big data analysis, using different analytical tools, all these pictures were just added like a puzzle. Okay, when you added the puzzle in the correct form, for example, matching the longitude, latitude, matching the number of light years, matching the time that the image has been taken, when you arrange them in a particular order, you find the sensational black hole image appearing in that. So this was a puzzle piece out of so many data. And you can understand when I'm saying telescope all across the earth. Okay. So all across the earth, if telescope data is calculated, that amounts to a huge amount of data. That is where all these programmings are used. Okay, so similarly, when you look at a biological process, you have tons of data output. Every day you have a lot of data output coming from your body. That is where you will require programming. When you look at clinical trials, you have huge dumps of data. That is where you require bioinformatics. When you predict what is the sequence that is needed, what is the DNA sequence required, that is where programming is required. That is where bioinformatics is needed. So for Shivli, if you are interested in mathematics, computers, biology, everyday phenomenon, then definitely bioinformatics is one good avenue for you. So coming back to my algebra, phylogenetic tree is one such example, wherein I calculate different inheritance patterns based on their date and based on the traits that they share. Similarly, algebra is also a part of competitive exams. Next, mensuration. So mensuration is also required. Mensuration is nothing but understanding study of shapes, different shapes, volumetric analysis, predicting the surface area. Okay, so you use it in anything that has to do with shapes. Example, instrumentation, biophysics, fermenter. Job related to the field. Yes, me. Okay. So, yes, Meet, surely we'll be talking about a lot of job prospects. Now, I'll just give a brief about the mathematical formula and then I'll get back to your questions. Okay. So, I'll be speaking about job prospects. I'll inform you about some. Now, coming back to our mensuration techniques, when we are looking at different shapes, for example, when you're using a fermenter, what is the amount of media that you need per unit yield? Okay. When you're looking at food safety, what is the right amount of color or right amount of preservative or right amount of chemical or additive that can be added which is safe? So all of these require analysis of the shape, for example, the packet size, the volume, understanding the tin capacity, all of these require understanding basic mensuration. Now, the next important concept is trigonometry. So trigonometry has a lot to do about angles, hypotenuse, base. Where do I use it most? Marine sciences, oceanography, marine sciences, instrument and space. So how much does the angle, does the sun make with a different constellation? What effect is it bringing upon photosynthesis? How is photosynthesis varying at different periods of the day? How high is a wave coming during a high tide period, during a low tide period? What is the angle that the lunar, what is the lunar angle that is made? Optics. How far do I need to place my image? My object. How far will my image be created? Medical imaging, pharmacy, crystallography. So one of the major technologies today that has helped us analyze different biological components is the crystallography technique. And you cannot learn about crystallography without understanding trigonometry, without understanding angles. Okay, so all of these are areas where trigonometry is of use. Now, the last topic would be functions and limits. So any function that you prepare, anything where a variable is concerned, and what are its outer limit, its maximum capacity, these are where you require functions and limits. For example, understanding ecological problems, population models, what is the disease prevalence, mathematical biology, all of these require understanding functions and its limits. Now, biostatistics, all of you have agreed today that biostats has a major effect or has a major role to play in ecology, clinical trials, etc. Here, for example, calculating the mean, calculating the standard deviation, calculating the variation, all of these require biostatistics. So understanding prevalence, occurrence, sampling, quantitative trait locus, it's all about statistics. If you know what is the mean occurrence, if you know what is the chance of error that is there in your sampling, you can actually create a hypothesis and you can prove it to be correct or incorrect. You can prove it to be true or you can prove it to be false. It is nothing but the amount of sample that you draw from there, the analysis that you create. So all another important aspect is binomial theorem. Binomial theorem goes hand in hand with predictions, and you have genetics, evolution, competitive exam, where binomial theorem, it is memorized by a simple formula. It is all about the chance of a particular occurrence. If you understand the chance of occurrence, then understanding genetics, evolution, different problems, different inheritance pattern will be very simple for you. Differentiation, calculation, biochemistry, enzyme kinetics, mathematical biology, even fluid mechanics, which is used in instrumentation, which is used in understanding the functioning of instruments. They require different processes of differentiation integration. Differentiation is nothing but chopping a huge function into small parts. And integration is summing up the small parts into a whole. So this is required in any calculation that you do. For example, rate. What is the overall reaction rate? It is nothing but the summation of instantaneous rates. Okay. So what are the small rate differences that are made when you add an inhibitor, when you add an activator? These are nothing but differentiation and integration. So, as I would like to conclude, that mathematics is there all around you. Mathematics is there in your everyday lab, in your everyday experimentation. Mathematics is there and helps you to be precise and accurate. You cannot just go on mixing random things and getting random result. It will just waste your time. You need to sit back, analyze where you are going wrong, analyze what is your outcome, analyze what was your input, what is the output, and then you need to optimize yourself. Optimization is mathematics. When you discover a cell, when you discover a bacteria, you use the microscope to characterize it. You study its dimensions. How many flagella? What is the size of the plasmid? What is the size of the cell? What is the size of the mitochondria? What is the size of the chloroplast? Dimensions. How many cells are fitting in a culture plate? Dimensions. When you are preparing a solution, be it for any pH buffer solution, be it for drug testing, be it for any chemical analysis, mathematics. When I put one drop, what is the change that I am expected to see? What is the change that I have seen in my past experiments versus what is the change that I will see? This is nothing but what PhD is all about. This is nothing but what research is all about. Lastly, microbiology and genetic engineering. Whenever I talk about engineering, I have to be very precise. I have to understand the working. I have to be strong in maths. Then engineering will be very, very simple for you. Just pulling out a scale, making a few lines. If your lines don't match, when you try and plot a graph, you will find that your coordinates are falling short. That is where you are weak in maths. Just understand what are the coordinate extensions required, and if I can extrapolate it, what is the value that I receive? That is optimizing. That is maths. Okay. So, as a conclusion, I would like to say that a life science career is definitely possible without mathematics. Definitely. You have various aspects. You can learn about physiology, plant science, animal science. For these, you need to be strong in biology. But your career prospects are limited. The number of variety that you have will be limited because everyday challenges come with maths. So if you broaden your horizon, if you try and be strong in maths, you will see that the career progress that you can make is much, much larger. And as a science aspirant, it is my advice to you that you must be strong in general aptitude. You must be strong in general knowledge. Because awareness, general knowledge, everyday knowledge, it will allow you to get new research avenues. It will allow you to get new problem statements. And what is research all about? It doesn't mean solving something which is already done before. No, it means picking up a new problem statement and solving it by a manner that has never been seen before. So if you're not aware of your surroundings, how will this problem statement come to your mind? If you're not aware of aptitude, how will you be able to optimize the right method required for it? If you are a teacher, if you don't know aptitude, then how will you calculate what was the turnout of students that had come for an exam? What is pass percentage? What is fail percentage? How much has your school progressed? All of this is nothing but requiring mathematical knowledge, requiring aptitude. And it would definitely help you throughout your career, speaking about interviews, speaking about lab skills. So when you attend different interviews, if you are if you are strong in mathematics, then you will find that interview questions, logical reasoning, they will be very, very simple for you. And that always tells your interviewer, that always tells your examiner that you are strong in analytical skills, that you are strong in your logical reasoning. So if you are strong in mathematical calculation, graphical analysis, you will definitely be strong in interpretation, and you will definitely be more precise, more accurate. So as a takeaway for all of you, I would say that there is no harm in not being very, very capable in maths, not knowing everything, but try and take out some time, go back home, try and pick up some small formula, try and pick up small units, try and see what do you remember, what do you retain, and how can you make it use in your everyday science. If you can find that, then I promise you students, tomorrow when you go out in the world, when you make a career for yourself, your name will be among the top 10 scientists. So with that motivation, with that takeaway statement, I thank you all for attending my session today, and I'm open to your questions. So please send in your questions if you have any, and we shall progress towards our next session. So, is there... Okay, so students, if you have any questions, please send them. Thank you so much, students. Thank you. I'm very obliged that you found. Thank you, Balaji. Thank you. I take it as a huge compliment that I was able to bring in some insight, bring in some motivation for you all to practice mathematics. And I definitely hope that today, after today, you all will try and make your aptitude strong and make your interest in everyday math strong, so that you have a bright and successful career ahead.
Thank you, Rashmi. That was really insightful talk. And thanks to all of you. I hope you all enjoyed. Mathematics in biology is something which nobody cares for, but maths has got a very, very important role in our life as well as in life sciences. And Rashmi in her talk has reiterated that we must have maths IQ as in biology as well. And I hope you will now not run away from that fear. You'll run towards that fear and win it. So our next speaker for today is Dr. Gayatri Sabharwal, and she is the Dean of Academic Affairs at IBAB. About Dr. Gayatri Sabharwal, she obtained her master's at JNU New Delhi and her PhD in Life Sciences at CCMB Hyderabad. She then did her postdoctoral work at Weill Medical College, Cornell University, New York. And she has been with IBAB since it was established in 2001. Her group studies the health-related industries and issues around them. They also write journal articles, editorials about these issues, and today she is with us to talk about IBAB and various courses it has to offer, and of course she'll give you a lot of insights about this research for it. But before we make her join, there will be a break of 5 minutes, okay? And then she'll be right here with us, okay? In the meanwhile, you can watch this video about Biotech Career Ladder, which will further help you strategize for your future.
Alexander Pope once said, "A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. It has been observed that the absence of visibility and clarity in career path leads to frustration and demotivation, due to which many a time job seekers don't even try to get a job in their desired field. If you browse through the internet, I bet nobody tells you about the career ladder that exists in the biotech sector and how you can progress. Today, we will be giving you a brief idea on how a biotech career ladder looks like once you get into a company, specifically the research and development sector, and how you can sail through it successfully. A career ladder is like a roadmap which motivates you and gives a direction to your career. Number 1. Junior Research Assistant. A junior research assistant is an entry-level position to start within the biotech industry. Most of the biotech companies prefer hiring freshers for this post who are well versed in hands-on lab techniques and have some amount of experience in the form of an internship during studies. If you are a CSIR NET or GATE or DBT or ICMR qualified candidate, it will be an add-on. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Number 2. Senior Research Associate. A junior research assistant or a postgraduate can be promoted to this level after a considerate amount of experience in the required field. This profile is apt for a PhD freshers who are seeking to get into the research industry. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Number 3. Assistant Research Associate. Aside from performing various complex tests and experiments, the Assistant Research Associate is responsible for overseeing different operations within the laboratory. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Number 4. Associate Scientist. The Associate Scientist performs in close coordination with the junior level research associates and is responsible for overseeing research and laboratory operations within the department. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Number 5. Research Scientist. Almost every biotech and life science professional who is willing to make a career in research wants to be a research scientist, not knowing the fact that it requires a well-lit background in ground research. Job responsibilities of a research scientist are very crucial. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. After a research scientist, you can become a lead scientist. The most crucial job role of the lead scientist is to routinely manage large and multi-technique R&D projects, navigation of the regulatory framework, and providing technical leadership to meet the desired R&D project's objectives is also a key role. The job responsibilities, educational requirement, and average salary are as follows. Principal Scientist. Job responsibilities of a principal scientist may vary with the work profile and the company, but the prime role remains the same, that is to coordinate the actions of all the teams, to train new generation researchers, to compile performance reviews, and to act as a source of knowledge in the laboratory. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Chief Scientist. Chief Scientist is one of the highest position in R&D sector. Being a chief scientist, you're part of the policy and decision-making board of the company. It requires you to develop a budget, manage different departments within the company, and coordinate with various research members across all departments. The job responsibilities, educational requirement and average salary are as follows. Remember one thing at this juncture of your career, everybody will say get a job, but only a fraction will say go follow your dream and will guide you through. Biotecnika is here to help you at every aspect of your career. Feel free to comment below if you have any feedback or need any assistance. We will be happy to help. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon.
Hello everyone, and welcome to an overview of the academic programs at IBAB. So you may know that IBAB is in Bangalore. It is an autonomous institute that was set up by the Department of IT, BT and SNT of the Government of Karnataka in 2001. It is a non-profit registered society which is supported through a grant in aid from the Government of Karnataka. So we receive annual funds from the Government of Karnataka. There is more information about the institute and about its programs on the URLs shown below. So if you simply go to ibab.ac.in, and then you can navigate from there to get more information about the institute and about its various educational programs. So the overall vision of the institute is to be an important catalyst for the growth of the biotech, bioinformatics and related industries in Karnataka and in India overall. And its mission is to grow into a world-class bioinformatics and biotechnology institute through its education, research, and entrepreneurship programs. In order to achieve this mission, it has the three objectives of education, research, and entrepreneurship. And I will be focusing more on the educational programs in this webinar. So first and foremost, I will talk about our faculty, because it is the faculty who enable everything to happen. Faculty have been recruited with very diverse specializations, and this is what enables us to run some very novel programs. And they are all research-oriented faculty, and therefore the programs are also innovative and research-based. The teaching quality is continually monitored, and feedback from students is taken on a regular basis, and that ensures that the quality of teaching is high. So I give a very brief overview of the different faculty. So my own name is Gayatri Sabharwal, and I tell you that I work on policy research, but most of the other faculty work in hardcore biology or in biology related areas. So I give the list here: Kshitish Acharya, N. Yatindra, Subha Srinivasan, Bibha Chaudhary, R. Srivatsan, Shiv Kumar Swami, Tyagarajan, and there are more on the next slide. And you will see that they all have many years of teaching experience and they have very diverse interests. So it could be mammalian transcriptomics, it could be structural biology, it could be systems biology, but they're all very widely divergent. Interestingly, Dr. R. Srivatsan actually trained as a physicist. He has a PhD from TIFR in astrophysics, and yet he now has moved into biology, and the students benefit very much from his expertise. And in this slide, we show the rest of the faculty. Again, there's a list of faculty and their areas of specialization, and you'll see that the same diversity is there on this slide as well. So coming to just a little bit of a brief on the research, faculty have raised about 20 crores of funding from non-government of Karnataka sources for their research, and in the last 5 years they have published 60 papers in various journals. We give a few samples here, just so you get a feel for the research inclination of these faculty. So this is a slide which gives an overview of the institute. As I mentioned, research, education, and entrepreneurship are the three objectives. And in the education, I will be focusing on the blue boxes, which are the MSc in Biotech and Bioinformatics, the PG Diploma in Bioscience Policy Research, the PG Diploma in Big Data Biology, and on the PhD program. And we hope that some of these are of interest to you. So we talked first about the MSc program, and admissions are currently open for this program. So the 7th and 8th batches of students are with us currently. The 7th batch is going to be passing out in June. Earlier we were with Mysore University, now we are with Bangalore University. So the university gives the degree, but everything else, all the teaching, evaluation, exams, everything is at IBAB and run by IBAB. The second program, the PG Diploma in Big Data Biology, is run in collaboration with IIIT Bangalore, that is the International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore. And the first batch is with us, and they joined this January. The third program that we are running is the PhD program, and this is affiliated to MAHE, the Manipal Academy of Higher Education. And the other PG Diploma program, which I mentioned earlier, in Bioscience Policy Research, the admission to this program is currently open, and we are running that with Takshashila Institute, which is a policy think tank here in Bangalore. That course will start in July. The first batch will join us in July. This slide shows us the pan-India nature of the student body at IBAB. And these figures are for our MSc program over the years. The largest single state, of course, is Karnataka, because we are based here and we are supported by the government of Karnataka, and the institute is particularly well known here. However, you will see that they have come from almost every state, not quite, but almost every state, and we hope to have more and more from other states, especially the states which are currently underrepresented. So coming to the MSc. So it's been running since 2011. And as I mentioned, we were earlier with the University of Mysore and now with the Bangalore University. The curriculum design, a lot of effort went into the curriculum design, and it has been structured keeping in mind recent developments in academia and industry to address the need for skilled manpower, both with wet lab skills and dry lab skills. We have constant interaction with industry to seek their inputs, and based on that experience, we modify the syllabus from time to time. We also periodically meet with our alumni who are often working in industry and get their inputs. The teaching, all the faculty are internationally trained. They all have either PhDs or postdocs or both from leading universities abroad. I should also mention that our students go for PhDs quite often, either within the country or outside, and I'll provide a little snapshot of that later on. So in terms of the details of this program, it is a 2-year full-time, largely residential program. It is not essential that students stay on campus, but the course is quite heavy, and therefore we strongly recommend it. And most students, even if they are originally from Bangalore, do come and stay on campus in our hostels. So the courses are very diverse. everything from next generation sequencing, data analysis, systems biology, etc., biochemistry, immunology, mathematics, drug discovery. And I should mention that people come to us from very different backgrounds, whether it's biology, physics, engineering. So every topic is taught from scratch. It is assumed that you don't have a background in that area, but it's taught from scratch and everyone is brought up to speed. And no matter what their background is, if they're serious about the course, they will do well. We have seen that now batch after batch. The overall course is for 100 credits. And there's internal assessment, which counts for 30%, and final assessment 70% for each course. The internal assessment, one will be through a test and the other could be by some other mechanism, such as through a seminar or an assignment or anything else. And that's for the theory course.